This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock, joined by John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Happy Monday.
Things change quickly in politics, don't they?
Right.
Well, we were burying Joe Biden last week for the most part, and
I've had him completely
now he's resurrected for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you think of the South Carolina. How monumental was it because of the size of the victory? What does it do to the narrative?
Well, it changed it entirely. Biden was in big trouble. He was fading. Bloomberg's tactic made some sense because he was going to fill that void. Sanders was possibly going to sweep to victory because everybody else was going to divide up the remainder. Joe had his firewall in South Carolina, but indications were that it might be crumbling because Steyer was down there spending a lot of money and might get a lot of votes, and Bernie was getting young African-American votes. Forget all that. Biden did very well in the debate. Jim Clyburn, a true kingmaker in South Carolina, endorsed him, not just endorsed him, but endorsed him beautifully with a personal testimony.
And I think put his political machine to work for him as well.
And it started to occur to me sometime Saturday, this could be 45% plus, and it was closer to 50, a 30-point margin. The change is now Joe is back, and Joe has a chance, but kind of still an iffy chance, to parlay that into a decent Super Tuesday so that the Democratic Party gets what it needs, which is Bernie Sanders against one other, a clear second place who dominates the rest. And then we can settle down and have the standard Democratic candidate, center-left candidate, Biden versus Bernie. That's what they need to have. But, you know, there's only 3 days. There have been a lot of early voting in all those states.
Yeah.
There's still a dissipated field. You've got Elizabeth Warren and Klobuchar, and Buttigieg is out, but and now Bloomberg in it. We've got a whole new element.
Right.
So a guy who hasn't actually been in the race. So it's not done that this is a parlay for Joe, but this was a big win, and it let him come out in prime time Saturday night and do the best Joe I've seen. He hit it. He was fired up. He's ready to go and carry the fight. So it's possible we have a coalescence of a non-Bernie and it's Joe Biden. Possible. But I mean, every new event changes this narrative from what we had been thinking before. So
You know when we'll really know that the calculus has changed is when we start hearing about Hunter Biden again from the Republicans and from President Trump. That'll be the telltale sign.
Yes, that's true.
Yep.
That is true.
So it is conceivable that after Super Tuesday and based on performances, this happens every presidential election cycle, we could see some more dropping out and move to that point that you're talking about right there. What do you think do you have any sense of what the results need to be to force someone to say, yeah, it's not my time? For instance, an Elizabeth Warren or Mike Bloomberg's performance.
All right, it starts with Super Tuesday mainly being about California and Texas, and Bernie will win California and maybe Texas. Biden would need then to win Virginia and North Carolina and Tennessee and maybe Arkansas, the southern states with African-American vote, so that he's clearly number 2. And then Warren, Klobuchar, and Bloomberg would just bring up a rather distant 3rd, 4th, and 5th when you put all of the events together.
Yep.
If that happens, then I'm sure, seems to me, Klobuchar and Warren would be out. And Bloomberg was saying on 60 Minutes he's in for the long haul. Maybe not. Buttigieg made the practical and gracious decision, which is I can't do anything here. I've run hard. He did very well in the first 2 states, but I have no staying power. There's no path, and I'm just hurting the party by staying in. I think that the scenario I just outlined, which is possible, is how all 3 might part, and we'd have Bernie versus Biden with maybe Tulsi still in it, maybe.
Right.
But for whatever reason.
Got to have a one-off there somewhere.
So that's the scenario. But if you get a muddled thing tomorrow, this would be a nightmare for the Democratic establishment. If Joe does okay, but Klobuchar and Warren outdo him in a couple of places, and Bloomberg, with all this money, does fairly well somewhere, say, should win Arkansas, then it's Bernie probably winning a bounty of delegates in California and being way out front against 2 or 3 candidates.
The rest of the pack.
Yeah, against the rest of the pack with nobody in the rest of the pack thinking, I'm the one who needs to quit, so they'd keep going. So it's big. It's very big.
Your Sunday column, you seem to struggle with who you're going to vote for. Have you decided who you're going to vote for?
I have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah, I have.
Are you going to share that, or is that going to remain secret so that you can continue?
I mean, I don't want it to. I don't want it to sound like an endorsement because that's kind of pretentious. But yeah, I'll tell you. But it's not just me who's struggling. And I outlined my personal struggle in the column, and I had so many people saying, "That's me," But the Arkansas situation is interesting. Your poll has 4 or 5 of them bunched between 15 and 20. There was another poll with an absurdly low sample, but it had the same thing. But just Hillcrest, liberal enclave of Little Rock, where I live, always votes left of center Democratic, usually votes the same. Guy across the way voted for Bloomberg for environmental reasons. He supported climate change initiatives. Somebody living closer is going door to door for Elizabeth Warren and was excited by her appearance down on the river Saturday. Up the way, some prominent local Democrats had a hot plate dinner for Amy Klobuchar. Biden, 3 or 4 of us old-time 60-something white guys have been waiting to see if South Carolina would show us a designated hitter to take on Trump, and it appears to be Biden, which is where I seem to be headed now, a very practical vote. And then Bernie is Bernie. And even somebody very close to me voted early for Buttigieg, now a wasted vote, but he's going to have some early votes. I could see, let's see, Biden gets the black vote in Arkansas, 20%. Bernie gets Bernie's vote, 20%. Bloomberg gets whatever he's been able to buy and get with endorsement, 20%. Klobuchar rallies for 20 because she's got some support. Elizabeth Warren, Arkansas will do something. Will do something strange.
It'll do something Arkansas.
It'll do something Arkansas.
Yeah.
But fortunately for the National Party, Arkansas is almost totally without consequence because we've got much fewer delegates than nearly every other state tomorrow. And the game is in California, Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee. And by the way, who might drop out? I think Klobuchar and Warren will be gone after Super Tuesday, I think, but I'm not sure. But if Klobuchar should lose Minnesota, which I don't think will happen, she's definitely gone. But Warren has not won a state, has no prospect that I can see of winning a state. And she's got sort of 2 home states tomorrow, where she's from, Oklahoma, and the state where she's senator. And she probably will lose both of those.
Yeah.
How long
that would be some handwriting on the wall.
How long do you stay in when, no matter how fervent your support or how passionate you are, how long do you stay in when that's the case?
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. All right. We should probably come back in on Wednesday and analyze all this.
I'm around.
You know what? You know the old columnist phrase. You got to go shoot some dead people, don't you, on the field? How does that phrase go?
The phrase is, this was a Mike Beebe line, but I think it was borrowed from somebody else. What I have spent my life doing, he said, is during the battle, I hide over to the side, and then when it's over, I come along and shoot the wounded. So we may need to shoot some wounded.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
We might.
So get me in here.
All right, John Brummett.
Take care.
Arkansas Democrat Gazette, thank you. All right. And that is all for today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us. Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.